Welcome all you guys and gals to another guide video where I show you what to do with those baseball trading card looking things that drop on the ground. This is not something you want to miss, so make sure to watch to the end to maximize the potential of this gold mine. Let's get right to it. So what the heck is a familiar? So familiars are the small, but sometimes big, enemies that are floating behind other players when they're running around flaunting what they got. I originally thought they were a cash shop item, but instead they're something we all can enjoy. Familiars are obtained by picking up the trading card looking things that drop every once in a while from the enemies you're farming, then using it from your inventory to add it to the familiar deck. These familiars are summoned using a skill from your beginner skill tab and uses a summon gauge to keep them out and about while you play. This gauge has 2,000 points, which is around about 2 hours or so at the start, and depletes over time. The summon gauge refills every day though, so you'll have plenty of time to do dailies, kill bosses, or etc. while the summon gauge is active. You can equip up to 3 familiars at a time max, but only 1 to start with. You'll be able to equip 2 after unlocking 1 badge, and 3 after unlocking 10 badges. More on that later. Once we have the familiar added to the deck, that's when the real fun begins. That's because there's a lot more to these friendly monsters than meets the eye. First, let's go over each tab so you know where to find everything, and when I reference it we don't get lost. First off is the overview page. The overview page is going to give you a look at how you're doing overall. So how many badges you have, how many familiars are collected currently. You can only have 100 in Reboot before you have to do something with them, but you can actually do more in the non-Reboot. You can actually expand this. And then the potentials of equipped familiars as well, and added stats from equipped badges. It also lets you know how much of your gauge is left. The setup tab is where you're going to put your familiars together and actually equip them. On this page, you can also equip them in 2 separate presets with a possible 5 total presets if you buy the coupons from the shop tab. Keep in mind though that the 3 extra presets are not permanent and you'll have to keep buying the coupons every 30 days. The right side of this window shows you what is equipped, and then the P means it's equipped but in a different preset. All you have to do to equip them is to click on one and then click on the open slot. The collection tab shows you the full list of familiars you have, and is also where you will extract familiars and fuse them together. The badge tab shows you what badges are equipped, and then the list of badges that you can acquire, and is also where you'll see what enemies you have to get their familiar cards for to actually get the badge. Then finally the shop tab brings up the shop in a new window that you can use to buy a couple of useful items. We'll talk more about that here in an upcoming section. The section you came to this video for. Potential lines. What can familiars do for you? Well, I'm glad you asked because the bonuses can be absolutely insane. So each familiar is going to have 2 potential lines, and it is possible to have something roll with 2 lines of the same thing. It's rare, but I have seen it. This potential is revealed by going to the collection tab, clicking on the familiar card, then clicking on the question mark below the picture. I kid you not, it took me 3 months to figure this out. Kinda sad actually. The actual lines that can be gotten vary from things like ignore monster defense, increase meso and or item drop rate, damage to bosses, attack and magic attack percentage, and continually restoring HP and MP. The ranks will decide on how large these bonuses are, and most of the bonuses are listed on the card. The reason that I mentioned that most are is because some of the smaller bonuses on common and rare ranked familiars do not. So for example, I have 3 familiars who have item drop rate in the video behind me, but they don't all add percentage bonuses to the stat window. Instead, they provide a buff at the top right to let you know that they exist. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to prove this is more than a placebo, but I want to let you know so that you know what you're seeing and that it is active. When you have this specific card at common or rare rank, I have done the research, and the research tells me that when you get the familiar that says specifically increases item / meso drop by a small amount, this is a 30% bonus. When it says item and meso drop rate by a small amount, this is 20% each. An epic familiar with this wording is going to be 60 and 40% respectively, and it goes up from there. On top of the levels, familiars also have a rank. These ranks will follow the same naming conventions as armor, so common, rare, epic, unique, legendary. Legendary is not able to be attained currently in Reboot, as you need to purchase a red familiar card from the cash shop. These are not available in the Reboot world, only non-Reboot worlds. You can also rank up familiar cards by fusing duplicates from the collections tab. This requires the familiar to be at level 5. So from common to rare, it costs 50 rank up points and it's a 100% chance of success. Rare to epic is 100 rank up points, 80% chance of success, and epic to unique is 150 rank up points with a 40% chance of success. While you're fusing them, common familiars give 1, rare familiars give 2 rank up points, epic 3, unique 4, and legendary 5. The suspicious familiar card purchased from the familiar shop for familiar points creates a suspicious familiar that can be used as fusion material for any familiar, granting it 15 rank up points. This costs 5,000 familiar points. The familiar card, which is non-reboot worlds only, can be obtained from the booster pack and unique booster pack in the cash shop, and can also be used as fusion material for any familiar, granting it 30 rank up points. But again, this is non-reboot worlds only. Once a familiar has enough rank up points, you can attempt a rank up. Successfully ranking up will reset their level to level 1 and re-roll their potential using the new rank for the first potential and the previous rank for the second potential. If a rank up fails, you'll get 50% of the points back, thankfully. And your next question is almost certainly going to be how to get familiar points, and this will be done by extracting familiars you no longer need under Collections Extraction. Normal familiar cards give you 10 familiar points, rare gives 15, epic 30, unique 40, and legendary 50. In the familiar shop, there are 5 items you can buy. These items are the Familiar Essence, which restores 50% of the summon gauge, Roro's Familiar Booster Pack, which gives you 3 random familiars with random rank ups to unique, all the way up to unique. This can be bought 1 time per day. The Suspicious Familiar Coupon, which gives rank up points for your favorite familiar. This can be bought 1 time per week. Then there's a preset coupon for your familiars and a preset coupon for your familiar badges. One extremely important thing to note though with the Roro pack is that this is the only way to get specific cards of enemies that are on badges that no longer exist in the game. For example, the King Slime is part of the Shadow badge that I have attained, but this enemy no longer can be found or fought in the game. I was able to get it from the pack, which allowed me to get my 10th badge. The most accurate list I was able to find is located on MapleWiki, and I will get this link in the description below. This will give you a list of all the badges that can be still attained and ones that have to be gotten through the Roro Familiar Pack. So we arrive at badges. Badges are super important for many reasons. So they are extra equips that you can use to add various stats. These are obtained by acquiring at least 1 familiar card from each enemy on the list of the badge. You can view the enemies by clicking on the badge tab, then the list sub-tab, then click on the badge. There are 43 total badges that can be completed as of the making of this video on July 29th, 2022. There are limits to the amount of bonuses you can stack though. For example, you can only stack up to 2% attack and 15% ignore defense. Familiars that are extracted still count towards unlocking badges thankfully, so don't be afraid to extract or fuse them as you need to. The easiest badges to get are going to be the first 3 on the list, so the Starter, Snowflake, and Oppressor badge. The Oppressor badge only has 3 enemies in it, so it won't take you more than 10 or 15 minutes. It's a super easy way to unlock your second badge slot. The third badge slot is a bit of a different story though. Since you need 10, you're likely going to have to spam a boss or a mini boss of some sort and get lucky with some sort of Roro's booster pack. In my research, the badges you can get without a boss at all are as follows: the Starter, Snowflake, Oppressor, Rebel, Mineral, Lion, Ocean, Swamp, and Void badge. Though the Ocean, Swamp, and Void badge, you'll have to be at least 230, 235, and 245 since those are in the Arcane River. The other badges that can be gotten easily by spamming a mini-boss will be the Mush King badge, because you can kill the boss actually every 3 seconds. It took me 92 kills to get the familiar card for this guy. The Sandy badge is also not bad, since Dio can spawn twice in the room he's in. The Mesa badge, Machine badge, Mariner badge, and Shadow badge are also all not that bad, but remember the Shadow badge you'll have to get King Slime first from a Roro pack before you can kill Dial and all the rest of the people to get that badge. Finally, familiar farming. So I wanted to add this section right at the end because I know people are going to want to know the best way to get as many as possible. Realistically though, you can get familiar cards wherever you like to train, and you'll probably get decent experience and mesos. The best advice I can give is to procure yourself a drop rate familiar as early as possible, whether that's item or meso, and get yourself a badge so you can equip 2 of those at one time. Then have those familiars summoned at all times that you can. Once you've got that, and you have extras, extract anything you don't need, and just pound the Roro packs. I have gotten an epic from this before, but the potential wasn't very good, so I accidentally got rid of it. But definitely hit those Roro packs. The unfortunate truth about familiars and grinding them in Reboot especially is that the efficacy of this is extremely limited. Since you can't reroll the potential in Reboot, it's very difficult to get a highly ranked familiar that also has good potential. Plus, since you'll need hundreds, perhaps even thousands of familiar cards if you get unlucky in ranking up, it's going to take you a long time to actually get enough of those cards to rank up and even get the rank to where you want to be at and the potential what you want. In non-Reboot worlds, you can use the advice I mentioned, but with the knowledge that it is overall very worth it because of the red familiar cards you can buy in the cash shop. So there you have it, the familiar basics and everything you need to know to get started and grow your familiar collection right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't forget to like and sub so I can keep making more. Get out there and kill some enemies. Peace.